Hey there, welcome back to our channel. Today, we're talking about one of the most important aspects of personal finance, emergency funds. Did you know that according to a recent study, over 60% of Americans don't have enough savings to cover a $1,000 emergency? That's a concerning statistic, and it's why we're here today to talk about the importance of having an emergency fund. So, what exactly is an emergency fund? An emergency fund is a safety net that you can rely on when unexpected events occur, such as medical emergencies, car repairs, or job loss. It's a pool of money that you set aside specifically for these situations. Having an emergency fund is crucial because emergencies can happen to anyone at any time. Without an emergency fund, you may be forced to rely on credit cards or loans, which can lead to high interest payments and long-term debt. So, how much should you aim to have in your emergency fund? A good rule of thumb is to aim for 3 to 6 months' worth of living expenses. This gives you a comfortable buffer to handle unexpected events without having to dip into debt. But how do you even begin to save up that much? Here are some tips. Tip number 1. Make it a priority. Treat your emergency fund like any other bill and contribute to it regularly. Tip number 2. Cut back on unnecessary expenses. Take a look at your budget and see if there are any areas where you can cut back. Can you eat out less? Can you cancel subscriptions you don't use? Every little bit counts. Tip number 3. Use windfalls wisely. If you receive unexpected money, like a bonus or tax refund, put it directly into your emergency fund. Tip number 4. Consider a side hustle. Earning extra income can help you build up your emergency fund faster. Tip number 5. Automate your savings. Set up automatic transfers from your checking account to your emergency fund each month. Once you have your emergency fund in place, keep it in a safe, accessible place like a high-yield savings account. You want to make sure it's easy to access in case of an emergency, but also earning some interest. And if you do have to dip into your emergency fund, make sure you replenish it as soon as possible. Ideally, you want to replenish your emergency fund within 3 to 6 months of using it. Remember, everyone's situation is different. Evaluate your own situation and determine how much you need in your emergency fund based on your job stability, health insurance, and other factors. Now, let's talk about some of the benefits of having an emergency fund. Benefit number 1, peace of mind. Knowing that you have a safety net in place can help reduce stress and anxiety when unexpected events occur. Benefit number 2, avoiding debt. Without an emergency fund, you may be forced to rely on credit cards or loans, which can lead to high interest payments and long-term debt. Benefit number 3, more financial freedom. Having an emergency fund can give you the freedom to pursue opportunities that may not have been possible otherwise. For example, you may be able to take a lower-paying job that you're more passionate about or start your own business. Benefit number 4, preparedness for emergencies. Emergencies happen to everyone at some point in their lives. By having an emergency fund, you can be better prepared to handle unexpected events. So, what are some of the best practices for managing your emergency fund? Best practice number 1, review it regularly. Make sure to regularly review your emergency fund to ensure that it still meets your needs. As your expenses and income change, you may need to adjust the amount you're saving each month. Best practice number 2, don't touch it unless it's an emergency. Resist the temptation to dip into your emergency fund for non-emergency situations. It's there to protect you in case of an emergency, not to fund your next vacation. Best practice number 3, replenish it quickly. If you do have to use your emergency fund, make sure to replenish it as quickly as possible. This will help ensure that you are always prepared for unexpected events. So, to sum it all up, having an emergency fund is an essential part of personal finance. It can provide peace of mind, help you avoid debt, give you more financial freedom, and prepare you for emergencies. By prioritizing your emergency fund, avoiding common mistakes, and following best practices, you can ensure that you have the safety net you need to handle whatever life throws your way. That's it for today's video. We hope you found this information helpful. If you did, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more personal finance tips and tricks. And as always, Leave us a comment with your thoughts and questions. Thanks for watching.